Instagram page where you got the stream.
Got it. Yep. Okay. Copy. Okay. So click
We
go
are live.
live
We
once
are
your
live.
streaming software connects and displays. How do I?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Go live. Should I go live?
We're live. I'm live. You might not be live, but I'm live. People are watching us.
Okay, I feel like I'm live. I hit go live and it says end live video. So
here we are. We're live.
Oh, look, there's Allison Bird. Perfect.
There you go.
Doing it.
Thank you. Liz Winstead, everybody. Look at this. What a surprise for your Tuesday afternoon if you're watching live. Look who I got. A big name, a big deal. She's just traveled across the country to be with us, I think is the reason.
I think it's exactly correct. I had to drive to do a virtual thing because that's the way, Pete, your tech head works. You're practically Elon in your brilliance around tech.
Thank you. That is really kind. Really kind. Last week you said I'm America's little brother, which was the kindest thing. And now today I'm practically Elon, which means I'm the first I'm pro-apartheid.
Yeah, and a trillionaire. So congratulations.
Almost there. Almost
trillionaire
there.
Nazis. That's what we're looking for.
Listen, they're back. They're back.
I know. I just watched some video of a progressive South African interviewing Elon's dad. I'm sure you've seen it. It just happened. I don't know how it ended up in my stream, but he was just like, how do you feel that America, in a few years is just going to be I don't even understand what minority means. Once you're minority, you're minority. That's some white people shit right there, right? It's like, oh my God, how about white people will just no longer be the majority instead of saying you're a minority, majority. The whole thing was crazy, but his dad was having none of it. What are we supposed to do? He was like, disagreed. Apartheid was bad. He was like, I never witnessed it. I was like, what?
Yeah, Elon's a really terrible person, and you know why if you his dad for 10 seconds.
People. Oof.
Yeah, his dad was a cartoon villain, and so is he, and so are all of them. I used to think, I feel like nowadays, almost to say that you identify as a Republican, you're almost identifying as a person without shame, especially given all of the men. All kinds of men of different backgrounds can be abusive, horrible men. I just want to believe that some people still believe in shame, whereas a lot of Republican men are just excusing, calling a reporter piggy or a terrible person or grab him by the pussy. If you can look the other way on that, it means you don't have any shame or regard, and that's called being today's Republican. Is my new conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really still hearing some people still saying MAGA Republican, like that's a thing, when it's just Republican. You either foundationally, unwittingly, because you were just a greedy corporate asshole, or wittingly because you literally believe that patriarchy is the dominant force in how we live our lives. But you were foundationally responsible for where we are now. And you can say all you want and be all never Trumpy and whatever. But, we all know that if it was a different Republican with a different messenger, those same justices would be on the Supreme Court. The same bill would have landed the big, beautiful, whatever the fuck that thing is. They'd still defund Planned Parenthood. They'd still have a terrible immigration policy. They'd still be racist. It's like, reasonable Republicans created the Roberts Court, which, gutted the Civil Rights Act, gutted Roe v. Wade. So stop saying MAGA Republican. You're just that. Live with that, be that. So that I just want to know at this point, Pete, I'm like, I just want to know where everybody stands. Please say it out loud. I don't want to censor anybody's words. I just want to hear it all so I know who to avoid. I know who the enemy is. I just want to know it all at this point.
But just to be clear, I still think that if in the Democratic Party or everything that's not Republican, your campaign for elected office would still be sunk if certain allegations came out about something you'd done to a woman, to a minor, any kind of sexual assault scandal. You would not be able to win a primary as a Democrat. Am I right or wrong? We still have a standard for the outside the Republican Party for our elected leaders.
I guess we do. We just don't have that same standard for Democratic comedians who've done shitty things. They get to come back, come soaring back into the "we love you" sphere. And
fair, no, I think that's a fair, like, for a lot of jobs. I mean, comedian is a pretty low standard. It's not like there's an HR department or, you know, a kind of a test you have to pass to get a license. Anybody can do it, obviously. But hello, but
Mr. Fine,
beautiful pup just showed up. But I'm saying, to being elected, to win a primary, specifically to be elected. You're right about other jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's true. I do think that that's true. And when you look at, which I do look at, and I do keep stock and take names of all of the people that come, most of the people, you know, that come through in weird pedophilia and weird sex with minors and raping of children and minors. The amount of youth ministers and youth leaders and you know, Christian this and that, you know, it's the doth protest too much crowd that's constantly doing it, you know. I mean if we, and saying that, does that mean RFK is not a pedophile? Because he apparently just puts everything out there. That guy just Cleveland steaming his way across America and running our nation's health department. It is so next level that I don't even, you know, and look, he and Andrew Cuomo, you just need to get a dom to literally just pee on you or whatever it is that you need, because you clearly are have an insatiable appetite for humiliation. Like, I don't know how many ways people can say, we don't want you, but like, I did not consent to be part of your public humiliation party. Take that shit indoors privately. Like, I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be part of it. Did not volunteer.
People are dying that you said Cleveland steam your way. It should be mentioned, just before we went live, Liz and I were joking around about these types of sexual it wasn't right top of her mind. I wish it was.
I mean, it kind of was. I literally 2 hours ago posted a RFK Fauci sort of situation. Dr. Fauci. Can we call him Dr. Fauci? I'm going to stop calling RFK Dr. Fauci from here to eternity. I highly suggest everyone else does.
RFK Jr. shall be forever known now as Dr. Fauci. If you don't know what Fauci is, go look it up. Also, or just come see Liz's new one-woman show, Dr. Fauci, with Liz Winstead.
The Felch Files.
The Felch Files. Oh, man. We're already...
I don't even know, you know, I don't even know what I'm saying. This is what you do. Every time I come on your show, Pete, I kind of lose my shit.
Yeah, I'm trying I'm trying to do a public interest show. I'm trying to be professional here. If you could just stop taking it into these directions of the perverseness of so many.
I mean, there's no, like, we've talked about this so many times on your show. And that is, you know, we have been in this game of trying to, you know, expose political hypocrisy through our humor and our jokes and our stand-up and our work and whatever. And, you know, the path towards, there's no policy really to talk about, right? And it's just all these weird proclivities and conspiracy theories and just crackpots. I mean, it's very bizarre. It used to be kind of fun to write smart jokes about, you know, NAFTA. but like, not that I'm hearkening back to the days of NAFTA. My audience was much smaller.
Bush Cheney and the war.
Oh my God, the war in Iraq, and like just being able to drag them for Abu Ghraib and their inhumane ways of thinking, and the mustard gas and lying before the UN, and what Colin Powell went through, and you know, like the axis of evil, and like who, you know, bombing Iraq when there's nothing, like all of that was like rich in substance. And now I'm just like, look where I am.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look where we are in terms of the people that are running the federal government are the worst people. I was about to say the worst men, but Kristi Noem and the woman who's at agriculture is pretty bad. Brooke Rollins. I mean, all of them are so much worse than Trump won. But the women who are doing, and I'm not going to say they're arguably worse, but they're certainly upholding patriarchy.
Yes, I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you can say that. I mean, Kristi Noem ran the state of South Dakota into the ground when it was in the ground. I think the state of South Dakota literally dug itself to China. It's so in the ground. She's so bad. And I just feel like, it's like that pick me sort of, you hear about pick me girls or pick me people.
Oh yeah. No, my daughter has referred to me as one several times throughout the past 2 years. You're such a pick me.
Oh my God. I don't think that's true, but I feel like not to psychoanalyze, but why not? Why not? They do. We have people not practicing medicine, giving policy things all the time. So I'm going to take my years of therapy and put my hat on and just say, like, it feels like these devotees to Trump. And I remember feeling this about Kellyanne Conway, like way back machine Trump sycophants.
Yeah.
And I was like, you never could have your dad see you for what you wanted or love you. And Trump is an abusive figure like that for you. And here you sit trying to remedy the sins of the father with this gross representative of your father. And it's just like, wow. And then they all sort of like become looking this one certain way, and that Mar-a-Lago face and the suits and the way they dress. And it's kind of like, at what point? And the sickness is like, when you look at Trump, he decides he's going to sue, James Comey, and he has this real estate attorney or whatever the hell she was, who only because she looks like that and because no single other person would take the case, but or any of it. It's just wild to me. It's just wild.
Caroline Leavitt. All these, let's just bash women.
Picks.
Let's bash women for one more moment because you're here, which is when Trump, when he said to a female reporter, quiet, Peggy, and other women, including a congresswoman, a couple of them, and Caroline Leavitt and others, basically apologized or excused it. What about that? I mean, like, where is the line if quiet Piggy is not it? Well, that's a weird thing to say.
I mean, I say you're entitled to grab somebody by the pussy is worse than quiet Piggy. I don't love either. Like, I don't want to I'm not trying to have like a rating system. It's not like one's a winner, but where has it been for anything? Where has it been for destroying human beings and stripping children from their families and tear gassing protesters, ICE, where is any, it goes back to the first thing you said, Pete, where is any like fundamental humanity that knows no party?
Apparently Lara Trump said to Bill Maher, he didn't say quiet Piggy, he said quit McGee.
No.
Is that true? From a reliable person in the live comments, my friend Benny wrote that. Quiet McGee.
Okay, really? Was the reporter's name McGee, or is he just hip? All right, I was just saying, like, shutty uppy McGee. Like, what? It's just unending. It's unending. And there's so much, like, I don't know about you, but I'd be curious, when you go out and do shows now, like, how do you present your reflections of the current time we live in? Because the jokes are done at the end of the day, right? Because of Twitter and the monologues and whatever. Yeah. Like, how are you how are you redoing a reframe so that you can talk about what's happening?
Part of the reason why I'm not doing shows right now, because I'm so much more invested in this work and talking to people this way, and not trying to reframe it in like a comedy club or in a comedy venue that way. I just, because of everything that we're saying, I've been so turned off by kind of stand up and live comedy because it's such a bizarro world in a way. It's almost, as you were saying earlier, to make jokes. You'll be doing shows, by the way, the Parkway Theater.
I, however, am
27th and December 31st in Minneapolis. People should see the year-end review that Lizz does every year. It's wonderful, and you can see it in Minneapolis this December 27th and 31st. Also, of course, everybody should be listening to the podcast. It's Feminist Buzzkills. I want to talk to you about some of the issues of women's reproductive rights, but before I do, Epstein file stuff. Megyn Kelly, what do you think of the things she did and the way some Republicans have not at least gotten on board with how disgusting Epstein was and is, and Ghislaine Maxwell, and suddenly looking the other way? It's such a bizarro world. It's upside down land.
Well, I just don't know what point Megyn Kelly was literally trying to make, especially since she has a 14-year-old daughter. And what, I mean, it's clear there is, if you're trying to justify, protect, yes, and pedophilia, you're really missing the whole point, and either have something to hide or something to lose if all of this actually is brought to light. You know, I've said before, I'll say it again. The people, I believe that when we see this vast unfolding of the Technicolor dream pedophiles, it's going to be a lot of people that rely on these big dollar people's money to stay in politics.
You think that a lot of the names that were hiring Epstein to arrange for them to have sex with young girls, those people were Republican donors?
I think they were political donors. Yeah, I do, for sure. I think that they are very wealthy political donors. I also think there may be people like who, you know, run countries and are politicians or have the ability to make deals for, you know.
A lot of people are focused on the former Israeli guy who went to Epstein Island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that can't be good. Or Prince Andrew, you know, but then now people are talking a lot about what the Russia connection. What are we going to find out about Epstein? And he was had a relationship with Russians, and I just don't know. I
mean, I feel like those kind of things are, when you look at the doubling down of protecting people and who we are in bed with and what we're doing, and you know, that weird the whole handling of Ukraine, as though Ukraine needs to compromise with Russia, and that compromise is give Russia everything it wants. Like, who's behind that? You know, the whole thing just feels super weird to me. And the whole, did you read the wild 28-point document? The AI translation seems super bizarre. It feels like Boris and Natasha from Bullwinkle are working for the government.
Now there's new news today that a shocking leak, transcript of a leaked phone call revealing the top presidential aide, Trump's aide, Witkoff, coaching the Russians on how to win him over. There's a transcript. It's recorded. There's audio. The transcript was published Tuesday by Bloomberg, so this is breaking, I think, while we're talking here. But it's Steve Witkoff, who obviously has Trump's full trust, telling the Russians how to win him over, is the summation. I haven't read it, but it's bad. It's so bad.
It is so bad. And
They're so bad. They're so dumb. All this diplomacy, like they have two people working the same deal. No president. Imagine having like two of your cabinet secretaries working any kind of business or diplomatic deal with another country. They're working. It's like The Apprentice. He's got them working against each other, but he's running a nation.
I mean, all of it. You know, that 60 Minutes interview with Jared Kushner, where they're just talking about they had the plans in place for Gaza. And you're just like,
yeah, Jared looks good though.
You know, I mean, sometimes he looks subspecies, you know, he gets some weird Botox and it's like, you know, they all have to, at this point, I feel like Mar-a-Lago face and all of that is literally just so you you have to like hide your disdain for your own self.
What's interesting is that for all of his vanity and weirdness, Gasolini, I'm talking about, and the orangeness of his face, he's never actually seemingly gotten any plastic surgery. And I was reading your posts on Blue Sky, which everybody should follow Lizz over there, and Instagram as well. And you said that there, what was it? There's more drug smugglers in Trump's chin-gina.
Yeah.
You would think he'd tighten that up. Also, chin-gina made me laugh real hard out loud. I'm alone here in my place, and I read your post, and it made me. But why doesn't he get that thing?
You know why? Because here's the deal.
He's afraid.
Think of a Trump sycophant, like die in the will. I am there no matter what. Aspirationally, a guy with a chin-gina with a bunch of money, and he's got a beautiful wife, you know, like he's got the messed up hair and he looks like utter trash and he's just golfing all the time. Like, you want to keep presenting to those people as the anti-hero. And that's what he does. You know, if he looked good and looked like Gavin Newsom, like I said it when Bush was running for president against John Kerry, I said it then too. It's like, remember there was Bush on the ranch with like Condoleezza and Dick Cheney, you know, and they'd go watch football on their big TV and he's driving around on his golf cart on the ranch. And that is aspirational, right? Hey, that's awesome. Then he got John Kerry windsurfing. It's like, I don't want to learn how to do that. That's taking time off being on the couch and taking time off the golf cart. I'd rather be watching football with my rich buddies on my ranch.
That's a really good point. To be fair, though, windsurfing would be a little more normal. He was actually kite surfing, which is really rich guy.
Oh, right. He was kite surfing.
No one has access to a kite board. Make plenty of good points. I got to ask you, what happened last week? It was Muslim week, and because he had Muslim, he had the crown prince there from Saudi Arabia. He's a real piece of shit, obviously, for lots of reasons. 9/11 families were none too happy.
Reasons.
Jamal Khashoggi's family, a lot of comedians like him, but also had Mamdani in there.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is, why is it okay for him to suddenly embrace and welcome Muslims? It's not okay for some of the people like I think Laura Loomer and others who really hate Muslims. But it is interesting that he was able to welcome these Muslims, a really bad one and a really good one.
You know, the thing that I have not heard anybody talking about in the Mamdani story is Mamdani won either 13 or 14% of Trump voters.
It's crazy.
And so when you say, why is Trump being nice to Mamdani, there's a real reason that, you know, like he resonates with his people, right? And that affordability, and, you know, Mamdani didn't take the bait. And it's like, and I saw a lot of weird people were like, oh, so Kamala can't be friends with Liz Cheney, but it's okay for Mamdani to go with Trump, as like some criticism. And I was like, I don't understand that criticism. Liz Cheney is a choice and an optic, and you don't owe Liz Cheney anything. And also, do you know how many voters palling around with a terrorist's daughter brought you zero votes, right? Whether or not you like Trump, he has a gigantic hold over New York City of how he can hold back money for New York. And you have to, as the mayor of the largest city, is it larger than LA? I always forget. I live there. I don't even know. Largest city in America, or second largest. you have to deal with the federal government. And people, the federal government in the past year has become one person, Donald Trump. So you have to talk to that asshole, whether you like it or not. And it sounds like Trump was well aware of being called a fascist, and he didn't care. I like to call, and the pictures were so bizarre, right? It was like in front of FDR. That was wild. And I was like, let's make a new deal. Let's have that be the game show.
Well, I will give Mamdani credit for the point that you're making, which was he won 13% of Trump voters. Mamdani made sure to tell Trump that. I don't think Trump knew that coming in. That was how he endeared himself. Hey, man, yes, we have something in common.
I know, but why isn't the media like throwing that out as like as I haven't heard anybody talk about the fact that fact, and I think that it's a really
if you hear Mamdani talk about it, he mentions it.
He does, and also like people also forget that one of Mamdani's first things that he did was go to the areas of New York where Trump's numbers grew and talk to those folks, because it wasn't, it was neighborhoods that were struggling.
Why did you vote for Trump? And they said affordability, bring down the cost. And he's like, okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah. And so, I think that those things are important, and I think it's really smart. And I think that I am thrilled with Mamdani. I am thrilled.
But do you think it's too soon to have a Muslim mayor after 9/11?
I think that we had a
do you remember
we had a German president after 9/11 who's done more to this nation, worse to this nation than 9/11. He's done a lot of 9/11ing. I mean, if you look at the family separated, how just America has been destroyed in the scheme of things.
One of the early moments I had that kind of went viral-ish when I first got into like broadcasting was when I was talking to comedian Jim Norton about arguing with Jimmy about the Ground Zero Mosque. Remember controversy?
Oh my God. Of course I do. They were so, like, first of all, if you live in New York and you get in a taxi cab, it's basically a mosque. You have a person who is driving you, who is probably Muslim. So you're already like in
New York. I would get down. If I couldn't get a cab in New York, I would put a prayer rug down.
Yeah.
And then they would always stop.
Yeah. I mean, that was the grossest thing ever, because I think so much. And remember Peter King, who was in Congress.
Oh yeah.
He held hearings to say, should we have Muslims serving in the federal government? It was a congressional hearing.
Yeah.
During that time. And it's like, not only should there be a mosque at 9/11, they should do abortions in it and gay marriages. Wow. And feed the poor. Like, let's just have it be all,
This is a moderate program. Take it much.
I'm all for it.
Moderate.
No, I mean, and I just think, it's just kind of wild to just be in a moment where the establishment, and again, with Democrats, where it's frustrating, I think people feel frustrated about, the old guard, we're a big tent, except for when the young people who are to the left of us or have new ideas or who want to try something new win, and then we act like they're an anomaly, not like the way forward. Wow. And anytime there's enthusiasm, it's just tamp down.
I like to not say that we're trying something new as democratic socialists, but we're trying something old that worked in this country before, because some people are saying, it's more like an FDR Democrat, a lot of these policies, or try something that might be new to a lot of Americans of this generation. But it sure as hell does seem to work all the way across Europe. Whereas I say, it's my understanding, Liz, they live longer and happier lives. That sounds like a good thing. Like, the longer life, happier life seems like a good metric. But if it means government grocery stores, then I'm out, I guess.
Well, also, like let's talk about those, right? First of all, we all know every PX on every base is a government grocery store. But second, a pilot program in boroughs where private run grocery stores won't open, so people can't get fresh food and they rely on delis and pay a whole bunch. Why shouldn't we try it? You know, we will pour tons of money into the National Guard invading our cities or other bullshit pilot programs in cities that don't work. Why not try something and see if it works? I don't understand like not wanting to try something innovative.
Well, the reason not to try it is the special interest that wouldn't want a government run anything to compete with their private sector, everything. You're right. The better example, I guess, is the fact that you and I both know and have been on I think the front lines of fighting for public education, which has been under attack by the right forever. They want to privatize everything. Grocery stores are pretty much privatized. So any idea that you would move anything from healthcare to groceries towards some kind of more government, even if it was a hybrid public-private, or even if it was a little bit more regulated, now the administration, the regime is going to let them spray whatever they want on our vegetables as well. So they're rolling back environmental standards. Apparently RFK's Felches are going to be
in our meat. We're going to have meat Felch. Enjoy. Like, who's against? Like, this is the whole thing. Who's clamoring to not have your milk inspected and your beef inspected? Like, you know, I'm just going to take a chance on these eggs. Like, no, like, you know, you've paid too much for them, and now, you know, it's a fucking crapshoot. I don't want to feel like when I'm eating dinner that I'm in Vegas, and then we're going to go to the, you know, Sphere to see you too.
The rest of regulation in general, from banking regulation to housing regulation to environmental regulation, you're talking drug regulation. It's wild. Before I have to let you go, and I never want to let you go. I wish I were there with you right now.
Never want to let you go. I've got you holding in my arms forever. Anyway, what?
Sorry. I want to ask you about women's reproductive rights update. I've got a whole, we did a whole music thing for it. Play it. It's the women's reproductive rights update with Lizz Winstead.
That's really good. Never do that again. Anyway. So I think what we need to look for 2026, if you haven't been following, there is, again, Dr. Fauci has been using a fake science study to relitigate the efficacy and safety of medication abortion, which has been on the market for 25 years. Since, you know, 2000 in the United States, and invented in France in 1988, because a bunch of right wingers came up with they did a paper. It's like a website, and they looked at some insurance claims of people who use their insurance to get medication abortion, and then anything that happened to them after they got their medication abortion. Let's say they went to the emergency room because they stubbed their toe. They counted that as an abortion complication.
Oh,
so it is just the fakiest of bullshittiest of studies that they're going to try to use to roll back access. And that's something we really need to look for in 2026, because it's really scary. Because this guy hasn't met a conspiracy theory that he hasn't fallen in love with. The other thing that is sweeping the nation, starting in Wisconsin, is something called a catch kit. And it's as creepy as it's going to sound. So the conspiracy theorists are trying to, again, appeal to RFK by saying that there's, you know, abortions in the water, which there's poop in the water too. It goes through a flurry. If people are drinking wastewater, like, I can't help you. But like, if someone has a miscarriage, guess what happens? They mostly have it on a toilet. And it goes through the sewage system into the purification system and whatever. It's not in your drinking water. But they're trying to say that there's medication abortion and abortions in the water. So they want to have anybody who has a miscarriage or takes medication abortion and has their abortion, they have to use a catch kit where they literally have a contraption that catches what they expel from their body, and then they have to present it to I'm not sure who, either law enforcement or doctors or someone, to prove that they didn't have an illegal whatever the hell came out of them. I'm starting to think I'd like people to catch that and mail it to the politicians who wrote that law.
Are abortions poisoning us all? That's the latest line of attack from Republicans in Wisconsin and elsewhere, with lawmakers arguing that women who take abortion pills must prevent their blood and fetal tissue from contaminating the water supply.
Yeah. But old Felchie mouth can just like have that right in the toilet. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. How about a catch kit for suck and spit? Do you want that catch kit?
Actually, that reminds me of the live read I have to do. Folks, new suck and spit catch kit.
I mean, like, it's crazy. And also, like, you know, there was just another story. ProPublica has been really terrific on showing how bad these abortion bans have harmed people.
Yes, I saw that.
A woman just recently, it was found that she saw Pete 90 healthcare providers, doctors, nurses, LPNs, who did not give her life-saving abortion after she was guiding them through her own
walker.
Yes. And 90, and she died. And it is the stories like that are endless. You know, they just ignore women, and especially Black women and women of color. They ignore when they're having health symptoms. They ignore when they're advocating for themselves. And we have a lot of work to do still. It's just when it seems like whether we're talking about abortion or talking about anything, when people can't get their crackpot idea to become law, they just start making shit up. And it's just, I don't know how we get back to reality, but like, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say.
It's true of everything, but when it comes to kind of certainly people of color, undocumented people, immigrants, brown people, whatever, but when it comes like gender stuff, and I certainly don't like to put them all in a catch kit, but when it comes to gay, you know, trans, or just women, it's like there's so much made up shit about those population. Like, it's just so constant. And it's so preposterous that sometimes I'm like, well, nobody's going to believe this.
Right.
And then, oh my God, it's divided my entire town Board of Education fight. They really think that boys are transitioning into girls so they can go in the girls' locker rooms and see them naked and stuff, which, I mean, the fact that people would believe that.
The fact that youth pastors are walking right in without taking any HRTs at all, you know, cis hetero youth pastors just going in there and harming people, not trans people, those people. It's sickening. And also, and this is the other reason why it's just like,
I'm a youth pastor now, by the way. We haven't talked in a while.
I'm so glad we didn't. Did you get your internet youth pastoring online? I feel like that's a new trend. You're not just marrying people anymore. You're just doing it all. But, you know, and I feel like this is why, coming and having and welcoming young folks into leadership who have a lived experience of the world we're living in, instead of having politicians push back or ask trans people, queer people, women, Black folks, immigrants to just stop complaining a bit so we can get this, you know, infrastructure bill passed. You know what, Democrats, I understand we need infrastructure, for the love of God, but regular folks are hurting and are being harmed. And we need to deal with immediate harm and have immediate solutions so that your infrastructure bill can actually also get passed. But come on, talk to real people about what they're going through.
I don't care as much about vulnerable people when it comes to like infrastructure.
Yeah. You know, maybe we could just build the bridges out of the vulnerable people. It's like a new version of Jonathan Swift. We're not going to eat the poor anymore. We're going to use the poor as
I think
infrastructure.
this bridge is moving.
It has a heartbeat.
I just saw a video where I'll let you go, but I just saw a video where somewhere in Asia, some Buddhist funeral, the woman is in the casket and started moving.
Don't they embalm people?
Well, she wasn't dead yet.
Well, what do you mean? Why were they having a funeral for somebody who wasn't dead yet?
I don't know what I just saw the video. I was really.
Was it AI? Are you sure you weren't duped?
Oh God, I hate that shit so much.
I know.
Do you ever watch them and laugh at them?
At AI?
Yeah.
You know what? I gotta be honest. The dogs with the talk show, I do laugh when they tell dad jokes. The two dogs that have a podcast.
One.
Any AI with animals, I am here for.
Oh, you are.
I am, sadly, but no other AI.
Okay.
Just with animals.
Lizz Winstead, she's done it again. We've taken up so much of her time. We really appreciate you. I mean, listen, go see Lizz December 27th, 31st in Minneapolis. If you're out there, her year-end in review is
fun. I have video, I have graphics. It's a wild ride of the year.
And also, of course, listen to Feminist Buzzkills and follow Lizz on Instagram and Blue Sky and Facebook. And we are honored.
Follow Abortion Access Front, my organization, at Abortion Front, all over social. And the podcast is also from Abortion Front. So we are the forefront folks on bringing you abortion news. But in this kind of setting, we're not stiffs.
I wish we could make something just happen and go viral. And then my wish is that, and I'm going to go clip it up and I'm going to post it everywhere.
You think Dr. Fauci's not going to bring it to the next level?
If everybody could just be together and refer to RFK Jr. from now on as Dr. Fauci, that would be worth talking to you today.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, fans, for watching. Thanks, fam, everybody. It was great to have a little convo. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for watching live. See you later.
Bye.